Welcome back to Morning Joy, where truth matters, here on the Guadalupe Radio Network and beyond. We're glad that you are with us. 16 minutes after the hour. This is the second hour of the program. We'll go off the radio here in about 15 minutes, and then we'll have the Clubhouse After Show. But I am so excited right now to introduce you to Diego Campos, producer of a Catholic docuseries called Mission. You can find it at Holy Coyotes Studio, Holy Coyote, so Coyote is singular, holycoyotestudios.com, documenting a spiritual journey. And I just want to read from the website just a real quick couple paragraphs, and then we'll get straight to Diego. Mission, a Catholic docuseries, tells the story of a Catholic campus ministry at a rural Texas college. The series explores themes of knowing, loving, and serving, and the spiritual journey of to truth, mercy, and joy. Over the course of one school year, the members of the Tarleton Catholic Campus Ministry are challenged to grow into their best selves and take part in the Eucharistic beauty of Christ in the Blessed Sacrament. The students begin their transformative journey in Catholic adulthood, creating a foundation for their lifelong purpose to become one with the body of Christ. All right, holycoyotestudios.com. Diego Campos, good morning. Thanks for being on the program today.
Good morning.
So you had a screening last night. I was not able to go, but Sissel was there, and she emailed me last night and said she was very impressed with it all. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you have a talent for videography and filmmaking. And, you know, what is your own background, and also maybe some of your spiritual background as well?
So I was raised Catholic. I've always been documenting things. My little sister can attest that I was basically following her around with a camera whenever she was 4 and I was 8. And she would scream at me, stop filming, Diego. But, you know, just us being kids, that was my kind of pastime whenever I was young. But that kind of grew into a larger love for filmmaking and storytelling, and I eventually got into music composition, and because I didn't want to credit or pay anybody for their music, because I was like, I can just do this on my own. And so all of that kind of eventually led into and culminated in this project. I put a lot of hours in way beforehand, even like whenever I was really, really young. So a lot of that is what goes into it. Spiritually, like I said, raised Catholic, but there's always that moment whenever you have to make that conscious decision of, am I going to really keep my faith? Am I going to pursue my faith? Like why am I going to be Catholic? And I think I had most of that journey down before I met the CCM that I'm a part of, but it really solidified, and I was really able to take joy in the beauty of the community, and be able to kind of see a dimension of Christ that maybe I wasn't able to before, simply because of like the just the depth of the Catholic community that I've grown into and become a part of at the CCM.
Yeah, so you have produced the Mission, a Catholic docuseries, and this is Tarleton State University, which I think, it's a pretty small town. I don't know how big the university is. Catholic Campus Ministry there, documenting a spiritual journey. How did you decide to do this? And it must have been time-consuming. Like you said, you followed your sister around when she was 4 years old. You must be following a lot of the students around in their life and some of the events that you have. So what's the content of this documentary? Tell us more about it.
So the content of the documentary is, the idea was initially, people thought whenever I was like, hey guys, I think I want to make a documentary about CCM. People think that you're going to do something like The Office, where like, someone just like looks at the camera and it's like like an awkward moment. It's just funny. And then you have ridiculous people and you have serious people and stuff like that. But, and like, that's a funny thing to entertain, but it's a kind of shallow perception of what is truly happening. at the CCM, and I'm sure at many CCMs across the country. But in particular, my CCM, I saw the potential for great transformation, and I knew that it was something that needed to be seen, and that people could take hope in. And so I decided in my first school year, the 22 to 23 school year, that I was going to at least make a short film project about it. I wanted to get a couple interviews, just kind of give a feel of what the CCM is like on a day-to-day basis, and that spiritual journey on the day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
What I couldn't account for was just exactly how beautiful and big that journey would be.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. And I, of course, I've seen the trailer at holycoyotestudios.com. It's about a 2 minute trailer, which I encourage everybody listening to go and check out, documenting the spiritual journey mission, a Catholic docuseries. And that's a cool thing is you go in and you can't really plan it because you can plan some of the elements of it, but you don't know what's going to happen. So without giving it all away, what were some of the I guess the revelations, the way that people grew? What will we see the transformations as people watch this series?
So the transformations, there are quite a few. I think the main one is the CCM growing, for one, like physically, number wise. Like, you see that growth from the first episode to last episode. You see that, like, over the course of the episodes, that there are new faces that are introduced. There's one person, and like I try to think of things in terms of narrative because it helps me structure things in the episodes better. So like sometimes I'll be like, yeah, there's this character, but I'm like, dang, I know that person. That's my friend. That's not a character. That's my friend, right? But my friend Elias, you can really tell like a transformational journey. He briefly shows up in the second episode, and then in the third episode, we're like making tamales. We're fundraising to go to Seek. And then the fourth and fifth episodes are when we're at Seek, and that's where you can kind of see the transformations taking place. And this is all happening through the course of interviews and certain group discussions that we have at our get-togethers. And then finally, during the sixth episode, like you see like him kind of come into his own spiritually. Kind of going from someone who, by his own words, he just was trying to numb himself and become, trying to like do away with the pain, to somebody who can really take joy in both the community, but also in Christ and the Catholic faith.
Yeah. Diego Campos is joining me, producer of Mission, a Catholic docuseries, which basically documents a year at a college campus at a small town in Texas of Stephenville at Tarleton State University. And Diego, I'm a father of a college student. I have a daughter who's a sophomore in college, and I'm very interested in this series. I'm wondering, everybody who does what you do, you have to have your audience in mind. Were you doing this for college students, for parents of college students, for grandparents, all the above? Who's the audience?
I would say the primary audience are people my age without hope. That's really what I would say, because that's at the core of it, is that I want people to understand and know and see that there are good people out there, and that there are people that are trying to live their faith, and they're doing their absolute best, and that it's really hard and it's really, really difficult, and sometimes you don't always get along, but it's part of the journey. And a big part of the journey is dying to yourself and leaving behind the old, and I think the primary message and the primary audience are those without hope and finding hope.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful, and I'm sure that's very common, especially in that age group. And I hope you're staying for the after show, and we'll have continued conversation with Diego Campos. But I when I watched the 2 minute trailer, it showed a lot of togetherness, processions, a lot of priests and fun and smiling faces, and it just really highlighted to me, especially if a college student is at a public university, the need to have friends, like-minded people. And I think that comes across, and I'm sure it does in the entire series, of the people you hang around with in college and the events that you have and what you do is so important. Does that come out in the series as just that the bond of brotherhood and sisterhood in those important years?
Yes. It's like my friend Madeline says, is CCM is a group of like-minded hearts who have the ability to come together and to worship. And that's really kind of like the opening statement of anybody in CCM for the entire docuseries. That's the first student interview that I did for that school year, and that I put in. And so I think that really encapsulates the whole thing, because everybody's trying to grow in holiness. Everybody is holding the other accountable. And you don't have to not have fun in holding people accountable. You don't have to, be holier, or act holier, just to, have this spiritual journey and transform and to become holy. You don't have to act holier to become holier.
Yeah. Diego, I'm sorry to cut you off. I want to make sure that the people on the radio audience who won't be with us in the after show, if they go to holycoyotestudios.com, can they see the whole thing, or how can they see this? And you got to answer in about 20 seconds.
All right. So I have the first episode released on the front page of holycoyotestudios.com. I would spell it out, but it's a long way to spell out.
That's
just
all right.
holycoyotestudios.com. I have the first episode there.
Okay, I'm sorry, Diego. No, the first question I'm going to ask you in the after show is, where'd you come up with that name? All right, this is the end of the radio portion of Morning Joy, where truth matters. Thanks so much. Hope you'll join us tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock Central Time, and also catch us in the after show. We'll have more with Diego and also Alan Smith here in just a couple of minutes. God bless you. St. Alphonsus Liguori, pray for us today.
This has been Morning Joy, where truth matters, hosted by Keith Downey. Take some joy with you today. Visit grnonline.com/joy to listen again, share a segment, or answer the question of the day. That's grnonline.com/joy.